This is the original Gauntlet Gen 1 from Umarex. Now granted, this particular one has a ton of upgrades, including this larger bottle, the barrel band, the Donnie FL suppressor, etc., etc. This is the Gen 2 Gauntlet. Now, there are a few differences. Let's talk about them. The Gen 1 stock was adjustable right there with the big circle on the bottom there that allowed you for adjustments on the fly. There is adjustment on the Gen 2 as well, though you do need a hex wrench. I do believe that there is more adjustment available on this one though, just from my plinking around with it. There is a sling swivel on the Gen 1 Gauntlet, and on the Gen 2 Gauntlet, there is a QD, quick detach mount there on the side. Makes it pretty simple. Moving up, you can see that the original Gauntlet had a dovetail scope mount right there, whereas the Gen 2 Gauntlet has both the Weaver Picatinny and the dovetail capability, so you can do either or, which is pretty slick. I'm personally a big fan of Weaver Picatinny, and I'm glad they went that way. Both barrels are still shrouded, though the original Gauntlet had an air stripper on the front and suppressed sound through the shroud, whereas the Gen 2 Gauntlet now has a threaded barrel on the front. So now you can put your Donnie FL suppressor straight onto the barrel. A barrel band on the Gen 2 is standard. It is on the Gen 1 now as well, but when it was originally released, it was not. This comes standard with a 24 cubic inch bottle, which is what I upgraded the Gen 1 to. The Gen 1 originally had a 13 cubic inch bottle. Both triggers are highly adjustable, as well as the hammer you can adjust in the Gen 2 very easily. There's a big opening right there for a hex wrench. With little turns, you can make it more or less powerful. The Gen 1 Gauntlet was not going nearly as fast. It was going around 750, 800 feet per second. Well, the Gen 2 Gauntlet is considerably more powerful. And speaking of power, the biggest upgrade is the fact that this is now a 30 cal Gauntlet. This is the first time the Gauntlet has been in 30 caliber, and that's what this one in particular is. 100 foot-pounds of power coming out of this thing. Yeah, 1,000 feet per second with the standard 30 cal pellet, guys. So that's incredible. You weren't getting speeds anywhere close to that unless you were significantly modifying the Gen 1 Gauntlet. So there you have it, guys. It's got more power. This stock is more ergonomic. It feels most excellent in the hand. Oh, and I forgot to mention the bolt is also significantly bigger than the original, which is pretty slick. The new Umarex Gauntlet is a few $100 for a very powerful PCP. You should check it out yourself. So pick you up an Umarex Gauntlet. Gen 2, it does come in 22 and 25 caliber as well. This is the 30 cal. I am super excited about it, and I'm the Dollar Sportsman.
Hey, Norm.
What's up?
What you got there is a Gauntlet 30. This here is a Gauntlet 2. There's some differences here.
I don't think they're that different.
Well, let's
Except for caliber, of course.
What about the color?
Okay, you're right. Color is different. Gauntlet 30, Gauntlet 2, slightly different color. Same body type, power, bolt, bottle. I mean, they're pretty much the same, right?
Pretty much.
This like a month ago.
Okay guys, we're going to do a little bit of shooting, starting first with the JSB 44 grain 30 caliber pellets. I've got my chronograph set up here, and the video doesn't capture the actual speed, so I'm going to tell you, and man, what a bullseye. First shot, 1022 feet per second. This thing is shooting accurate, and 1022 was the consistent speed. I'm actually very impressed. You'll see throughout this that the speeds were very much the same until the regulator started to fall off. And you can see the accuracy too is pretty fantastic. Now I haven't seasoned this barrel. I've only shot it a little bit prior to doing this test. And now we're going to do the Hades, which I'm going to hunt with. So I'm really interested to see how these go. And they're shooting at about the same speed, 1022 feet per second, consistently. I mean, it's really impressive how well these are actually performing. I expected the heavier pellets to actually be more accurate, but these lighter weight ones are doing very well. You can see that group right there is pretty dead on. So here are the heavy pellets, and they were going about 996 feet per second. That's what I'm mumbling under my breath here in the camera. 996 until they start coming off the regulator. But we'll talk more about that in just a minute. But you can see even this group is pretty good. I did pull a little bit to the left there for one of them, but it's still a pretty tight group. Now, granted, this is only 35 yards, so there's more testing to be done. Like with these slugs, for example. Now, you can see here I had a problem closing the bolt on the slug. I had to almost jam it. I thought maybe something was wrong, so I pull out the mag. I realize that the slug is inside, and I try to close the bolt, and it is tight. So I wouldn't recommend doing that, what I just did there, which is jamming it in. But it did fire without issue, but it was tight in the chamber. And once I put the magazine back in, I realized that it was going to happen every single time. I'm not saying that's going to happen with every slug, but with these particular ones, it did. Now look at that group. There's one that's a little off to the left, but everything else is pretty much grouping spot on at 1,017 feet per second until it eventually begins to fall off the regulator. Yeah, that's impressive. Now, here are the Hades again. The regulator is low already, so what I decided to do was shoot at this lizard, and you can see that little group forming by its hind leg there, just to see if I could still get accuracy even with the reg pressure coming down. And it went all the way down to under 920 feet per second. So that's 100 feet per second less than what we started with, but it was still accurate. Now the reg pressure is way down into the yellow after 3 magazines, starting at around 4,200 PSI. So let's do some speed shooting, shall we? This is just to test, to make sure I'm more or less in line. I don't know the distances of these targets, so I'm just kind of holding and hoping for the best. So here we go. Right-handed, let's just jam through these. You can see I missed the first one. Wouldn't you know it, but keep watching. Nailing it. Now I'm going to go back and shoot the first one that I missed. Take a look at this. Yeah, buddy, that hits with some authority.
Woo.
A little left-handed action just because I wanted to try it out. I'm less accurate, doing it just as hard and fast as I can, but I wanted to see how fast I could run the bolt. So I miss pretty much half of these. But you can see that it's not too difficult to run the bolt itself. And honestly, with the original Gauntlet, the bolt was a complaint with a lot of people. You could polish it, and it got better. But I didn't really see much of a problem with this one. I mean, racking through it was easy enough. Well, guys, that's it for the Gauntlet 30. I am the Dollar Sportsman. Thank you so much for watching. This is the new gen Gauntlet, and it's pretty freaking powerful, awesome. A lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. Special thank you to Utah Airguns for letting me come shoot and film in their range here. We'll have to get this out further eventually, but in the meantime, have some fun. Yes! You guys excited?
Yes, excited.
Yeah!
That was certainly thrilling.
Yes, it was. This is going to be a fun adventure.
Yeah.
Well done. That was awesome. Did you see that? Woo! Yeah! You can do this. Get out there. Let's go do this. Woo!
He's so fired up. This guy. I love this guy.